This lick will definitely, probably, maybe be the most useful lick that you've probably not learned before. And I say that confidently because of these things. It doesn't come from the pentatonic scale, so it doesn't sound like it comes from the pentatonic scale. So it really does break you out that box right away. It hits all the chord tones. So whether you're playing a major or a minor chord, you can adapt this lick so that you hit those chord tones every single time. There's so many different variations of this, so many different things you can do. You can combine it with scales, you can combine it with chords, and that's what we're going to look at today. So once you know this, you're definitely going to want to add it into your playing. So before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to show you a little demo of what we're going to learn today that has the lick included. So I want you to try and figure out what it is, and then we're going to get right into it. So I wonder if you caught that sneaky little move there. It is, of course, not that. That, and that, my friends, is not just a lick. It is an arpeggio. And arpeggios are awesome because they add a level of sophistication to your playing because you are playing the exact chord tones over the exact chord at hopefully the right time. And that really adds a little bit of flair to your playing. Of course, you can't just play arpeggios on their own, that'd be quite boring. But when you combine it with scales and everything else, it really does brighten up what you're playing. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that by walking through that little demo I did at the start. I'm going to do that at the end, and that's a real practical way to practice this with everything else. So make sure you stick around for that. But first, let's look at the arpeggio itself and understand how we can play that over any chord, whether it's major or minor. Now we need to start with the C chord because that's exactly what it is. Alright, in a major sense. Alright, if we arpeggiate a C chord, I just play the notes individually. That's what an arpeggio is. Now if we look at a C chord more closely, the root, the third and the fifth. The lower half, fifth, root, third. Now if we look at that a little bit more closely, and this really blew my mind, right, is we have the D-shaped triad. The only difference is that these strings are open. Alright? Of course, we move this up to the D shape, the D position, we've got the D triad. Alright? And that, of course, is combined with the C shape. So again, we've got the C shape, and then we've got the D shape at the bottom. And that's really great because I'm going to get my pick. If you can visualise that, right, if you can visualise the root note on the A string, right, I'm going to get my D here. I just visualise the C, get into the D. And then that means, right, if I want to arpeggiate a G, I can find the G here on the 10th fret. Arpeggiate that. If I want to find an E flat here, and that's it. Now, if I wanted to do a minor chord, I'll just need to make one little adjustment. Now, if you don't know this, you turn a major chord into a minor chord by flattening the third. The root, the third, the fifth, right? Now, all we need to do to flatten a third is bring it back half a step or one fret. Okay, so if I bring the 2 here back to the 1, I've got a C minor now. So C major, C minor, C major, C minor. Now I can't do it at the bottom half because I can't get any lower than the high string for C, right? So let's just go back into my D chord. If I flatten the third here on the D string, then I've got the minor. Okay? And then the third, which is normally on the high E string, I bring that back one fret, and guess what I've got? The D minor shape. So this time we want to visualise the D minor shape at the bottom. Make sure we skip that third there. Alright. And that's me doing a minor arpeggio. So the progression I was looking at the very start for the demo, we've got an E flat, a D minor or a D minor 7, and a G minor. Okay. Alright. Now if we try and arpeggiate those chords using the technique we just did there, we have an E flat here, into a D minor, and then into a G minor. Alright, so I'm playing the major over the E flat, the minor over the D minor, and then the minor over the G. And that's how I want you to practice that, alright? And you can do it with different variations, different songs. Pick a song, and then try arpeggiating over the top of them. And that's a really good practice to build up some good dexterity and muscle memory. So I'm going to walk through this progression I did at the start very quickly so you have some context to practice this with. Again, you don't want to play the arpeggio on its own, you want to play it amongst everything else that you do. So, basically, I've taken I Shot the Sheriff and practiced these techniques. We're going to start with this. This little Hendrix move. Slide into 10 in the A, B flat triad here on the 8th fret, using the A shape. Alright. And then into my D minor 7. Embellish that with a high E. And what I'm doing here is I've got the G minor, and I'm just barring the bottom 4 strings. I'm going to get my thumb over the top using the Hendrix style because this gives me access to shape 1 of the pentatonic scale there. And then the extension, that little double stop there. Alright. Back into my first lick. Then instead of D minor this time, I'm gonna do a little shape 4 lick because when I've got the minor there on the 5th fret with the root in the 5th fret, I've got shape 4. Which means I've got this cool double stop I can use from 5 and 6. And then into my G triad. My G minor triad, sorry. Then I'm going to climb up to the B, or the B flat. Okay, so again. So that's 8, 10, 13. Then I'm going to play this little B flat triad, right, which is just 12, 11, 11. Now I'm using my fingers, you can use a pick of course. I'm just going through a finger phase. Doesn't sound quite right, but yeah. And then when I'm playing a triad like this, alright, which is just, you know, an inversion of this big E-shaped bar chord, right? The bottom half of it. I've got shape 2, which means the bottom 2 strings, like that. So I can triad. That's 13 and 11 on the high E and bottom strings, right? The high E and B strings, sorry. So far we've got this. Alright, and then I'm going to get into my D minor triad here, which again is just a lower, the lower inversion of this chord, right? And then I'm gonna do this, which is basically just the D minor scale. which is 13, 12, 10, 13, 11, 10. Then I'm going to land here, which is the G note. I know that because I've got a D minor triad here for G again. So, nice and slow. Then I'm going to get that D minor triad, alright, and the G. The D minor shape, but for G, alright? Alright, so far, everything. Then I'm going to get back into my G, here my G minor. Another double stop, and then I'm just going to start again. And that's, again, that was quite a quick walkthrough. If you would like more in depth, then please let me know, and I'll be sure to do that for you. But guys, I hope that was a fun lesson for you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I explained it well enough. Please let me know in the comments how you got on. And I'll see you soon with the next lesson.